Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gary Berry Stadium. Barry Reed bringing you the action today between the Lutheran Lions and the Mitchell Marauders. After some technical difficulties, the Lutheran Lions took the opening kickoff and they are on the move inside the Mitchell 20. Now with a 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. Lutheran 1 and 3 and Mitchell 0 and 4. And the quick pass out to Eric Cumley, and Cumley spins his way down to the 10-yard line. It would be a pickup of 8 down to the 15, pardon me. It'll be 2nd and 2 now. Nick Moss, a senior, starting at quarterback. He'll roll out, pressure from Mitchell, and he'll drop it, throw it into the ground short of the intended receiver. So that will bring up 3rd and 2 for the Lions here. Lions making their 2nd trip in as many weeks down to the Pikes Peak region. Last week they got their first win of the year, 21-20 over Falcon. And with the carry off the right-hand side, that is Landon Latino, the senior. Enough for a 1st down at the 11-yard line. Now 1st and 10 from the 11, thrown down into the corner and incomplete. Garcia, the intended receiver. And quickly back up to the line. Spread formation, shotgun again for Moss. To his right is Latino. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. 5-man front for the Marauders. Little play action out into the flat. Flag comes in. Diving into the end zone is Devontae Street, a junior, for the apparent touchdown, but we will wait to see what the flag is. And this might be on the Lions for a downfield block by Noah Tack, the junior. Nick Moss got it and started rolling right, threw it out into the flat, but it might be a block in the back. We will wait the decision. And they walked the ball back and set it at the 11 with no explanation from the officials as to so they picked up the flag, no play. It'll be 2nd. So now it'll be 2nd and 10. And the pass across the middle, a little slant route for Kyle Garcia, the junior, and the Lions are on the board with 8:52 here to go in the 1st quarter. And they lead 6-0, pending the extra point attempt. And for Nick Moss, that is touchdown pass number 1 on the year. Check that. I was looking at last week's stats where Moss went 26 for 40 for 282. And there is the 2-point conversion completed to Noah Tack. So 8-0 is the score in favor of Lutheran. as they take the opening kick here at Gary Berry Stadium and march right downfield for the touchdown. So it will be Mitchell's turn to answer as they try to recover from last week's shutout by Pueblo County, 41-0 here at Gary Berry Stadium. J.J. Smolin, the sophomore, was on for the kickoff. Mitchell still gathered in their huddle. Joe Williams dropping back for the Marauders will be one of the deep men. The other will be Khalil Hamilton. And they stand about the 15-yard line waiting for the Smolin kick. And it's an onside kick by the Lions. It goes 10 yards and it is covered by the Lions. So just across the 50, right in front of the Lions bench. And now one of the officials is saying, no, it is Mitchell's ball. And the Lions coaches are pleading their case to the officials on the far side. It sure looked like the Lions had recovered it on the Mitchell side of the 50, which would have covered the 10 yards, but the officials getting together to talk about it on the far side. The one Mitchell player in that area actually blocked one of the Lions instead of going after the ball, hoping the ball would bound out of bounds. But it stayed in, and there were two Lions, Johnny on the spot at the 49. So the debate was, did the Lions touch it before it crossed the midfield stripe? And the ruling of the officials is Mitchell football at the 49. So the onside kick attempt by the Lions fails. I would like to have some cameras on for instant replay with that one. But that is not the case as of yet. And so Mitchell will start in very good field position. From their own 49-yard line. Now the officials, the Lions offense is on the field after they had signaled it was Mitchell ball. So confusion here at the stadium as the Lions drop Nick Moss back, and he'll fire deep for Garcia again. So 2nd and 10. This time, Moss out again into the flats. Finds his receiver who bowls his way for a gain of 5 down to the 44-yard line. With the reception, that is Noah Tack, the junior. Lutheran Lions, the passing game is their bread and butter. 121 completions for 1,240 yards and 7 touchdowns. Now 8 with the touchdown on the opening drive. They have rushed for just 317 yards through 4 games. Moss rolls out into the flat, finds his big target, Eric Cumley, down inside the 20. Joe Williams there on the coverage for the Marauders. With a little bit of help, Angel Mondragon is there as well. So it'll be 1st and 10 after the completion. That is a completion of 20. Still in the shotgun is Moss. Lined up to his left is Landon Latino. Drop back for Moss, step up, fire down the left seam and the right seam, touchdown. This is Devontae Street, the junior, wide open beyond the Mitchell defense. for the second touchdown for the Lions. And so far, Lutheran on 2 drives, just making it look easy against the Marauders. The pass goes for 24 and the touchdown to Street. Now 2-point conversion again. Moss in trouble, throws late across, and this one is intercepted by the Marauders. So the conversion fails, and it is 14. So it is 14-0 in favor of Lutheran. Last week, J.J. Smolin was 1 of 1 on his point after attempts, so I'm not sure why they're not kicking it, but they did miss a 2-point conversion last week in the win against Falcon, 21-20. So now Mitchell will get the ball back. Corey Anderson, the head coach of the Marauders, is out talking to the side judge. We'll see if Mitchell sets up to prevent the onside kick again. But we are just underway here in the first quarter from Gary Berry Stadium. And the Lutheran Lions have jumped out on top of the Mitchell Marauders by a score of 14-0 with 7:57 left to go in the first. This kick a drag again, this time reached out and covered by the Marauders, but muffed. And it looks like the Marauders got back on it at the 47 of Lutheran. So a break for the Marauders there. As Lutheran, not confident in its kicking game, gives Mitchell the good field position at the 48 when they finally spot it. Hamilton deep in the backfield for the Marauders. Give it off on a delay up the middle to Mondragon, and Mondragon is drugged down by the center of that Lions defense. Getting off the bottom of the pile for the Lions, that is Nolan Gonglak, the junior. 2nd and 10 for the Marauders. Khalil Hamilton, 20 carries for 115 yards, second leading rusher to Jalen Babers. Babers was ejected last week, and so he should be serving a suspension this week. And the officials say the knee of Hamilton was down behind the line, loss of half a yard. It'll be 3rd and 11 for the Marauders. Thane Duzenak, the quarterback, looking over at his coach, Corey Anderson, waiting for the play. High clouds and cooler. They expected the temperature today to be about 80 degrees, and it is in the low 60s here at game time with a slight breeze from south to north. Duzenak out in the flats down at the 30. The intended receiver for the Marauders was Ben Hersom, the 5'7" senior, and Hersom got his feet tangled up with the defender on that corner and was unable to get to the ball. So that's going to bring out 4th and 11 here for the Marauders. Unable to move the ball with the Lions giving it to him in their own end of the field. Now Duzenak stands at his 40 to punt. And looks like Luke Arnold is standing at the 15 for the Lions for the return. Duzenek's kick comes off a little flat and out of bounds. Caught by one of the Lions coaches about the 24 out of bounds. So the Lions should have it at the 28 to start this next drive. So the first touch by the Marauders, not able to show anything offensively against this Lutheran defense. And the Lions have it for a third time. No huddle for the Lions. Moss brings them to the line. Spread formation. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Fake throw it out here into the flat. And a great tackle by the Marauders, Tamar Davis. Pass was caught by Samuel Ness, the junior for the Lions. And that is going to be held to a gain of 4. Quickly to the line are the Lions. Moss in the shotgun. Option read, give it off the left-hand side, cutting it back to the right through a big hole is Luke Arnold, the junior. And Arnold is out to the 48-yard line with the carry. Luke Arnold had 4 carries for 35 yards on the season coming into today. Big first down there for the Lions. Handed off again to Arnold, and this time Arnold is swarmed under, short gain. Gain of 1 up to the 49-yard line. Bring up 2nd and 9. The 2 passes for Nick Moss were touchdowns 8 and 9. Thrown on the year. For Garcia, it was his third touchdown. And for Street, it was his 2nd touchdown. The 2 touchdowns scored on the first 2 drives by Lutheran. Now pass downfield to the 39 for a first down. First and 10 at the 39. Delayed give off straight up the middle. Breaking tackles and out into the open. That'll be a touchdown. With the touchdown, that is Dorian Pacheco, a freshman. So Pacheco takes it in from 39 yards out. Dorian Pacheco plays middle linebacker as well. That is his first touchdown of the year from 39 yards out. Now on for the extra point is Smolin, and flag flies. And it will be encroachment against Mitchell. So move it half the distance to the goal. So last week against Falcon, Lutheran actually trailed in that game and then tied it up in the third quarter and won it in the fourth. Smolin on again for the extra point. And the extra point is up and good from J.J. Smolin. So it is 21-0 here in favor of Lutheran at the 4:36 mark of the first quarter. So the Marauders trying to get the taste of their first shutout of the season out of their mouths with the loss to County, a poor start here in the first quarter. Again, at home at Gary Berry Stadium. So Mitchell putting 5 up on the line, guarding against the kick. They've already, Smolin sets it on the tee now. If you're just joining us, the Lions converted the first kickoff after their initial score for an onside kick and then drove 49 yards for their second touchdown. Smolin this time comes the other way. Hersham dives on it at the 48 of the Marauders to maintain possession for the Marauders, and here comes the Marauders offense once again. So 1st and 10 for Mitchell. Big hole here in the first quarter, trailing by 3 touchdowns. From their own 48. Throwing down the left-hand side, and this one's going to be over the head of the intended receiver. And incomplete. I believe that was Joe Williams out on the far side. Williams had a nice little move to get outside position and get beyond the defender. So now 2nd and 10 for the Marauders. And knifing into the backfield, the man who scored the last touchdown for the Lions was Pacheco, and he will drop Williams for a loss of 2. Corey Anderson calls timeout, his first here in the first half, bringing his offense to the side as his offense faces 3rd and 11. This is the final non-league action for both of these schools. Next week, Mitchell will take on Sierra to open the league portion of their season. And for Lutheran, they will travel to Palmer Ridge, or they will host Palmer Ridge, my apologies. After 3 straight weeks on the road, the Lions finally get a home date with Palmer Ridge, and then they'll play Lewis Palmer at Lewis Palmer. But first, they want to get to 2 and 3 on the season with a win here against Mitchell at Gary Berry Stadium. Mitchell trying to get into the win column for the first time this year. Big 3rd and 12. Double tight end, wing to the right-hand side, trying to protect Duzenak. He's in trouble. Good block, got the corner, and he will be knocked out of bounds inside Lion territory down to the 46-yard line. With the tackle was Eric Cumley, the senior. Needed 12, got 9 of it on that 3rd down. So that is going to bring up 4th and 3, and the offense stays on the field. Good pressure right off the left side for the Lions. But Dane Duzenak able to escape away. This time Mitchell is going to load up the formation, power right to the right. Hersham in motion back across the formation. Option pitch. And with the first down of the game for the Mitchell Marauders, with the carry, that is Khalil Hamilton. And the Mitchell crowd giving a cheer. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 40 for the Marauders. So good to see the Marauders put something together here, get their first down. Wing left, offset right, eye to the left. First man through bowls his way down to the 36-yard line for the Marauders. And that is Angel Mondragon, the 190-pound senior. Pick up of 3. It'll bring up 2nd and 7 for the Marauders. I formation. Hamilton, the deep man. Give it to him off the left-hand side, and he is going to be met at the line of scrimmage and held to a gain of 1. Landon Latino, one of the inside linebackers. Actually, Latino, the safety, coming up to make the hit, holding that to a gain of 1, 3rd and 6. Now Mitchell comes up with it, 3rd and 6. Wing left, power I, or straight I. Fake it to Hamilton. Late rush, Dusenek in trouble, able to pull away from it, but unable to find an open receiver downfield. He will just run it out of bounds. Lose a yard on the play back to the 38-yard line. We'll bring up 4th and 8 for the Marauders. Dane Dusenek standing on the sideline for the Marauders. And Corey Anderson wants to take his second time out here. Mitchell on its second possession, finally able to move the ball, but you're down 3 touchdowns. So you want to keep any momentum that you can get, as this Lions defense has been extremely tough today. If you're new to Lutheran High School, they are up out of the Parker area. And had some success in recent times under Coach Darrell Moe in the 1A. Made it to the postseason in 2010 and 2011. And then in 2013, made it to the 2013 and 2014. Made it to the playoffs only to lose to Palisades both times. And for Stephen Robbins, the current head coach, he has a record of 11 and 13 through 4 games this year in his 3rd season. Mitchell spreads it out a little bit. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Now crossing pattern to Hamilton, trying to break away from his jersey tackling. Finally does, and he gets ahead for the first down at the 29-yard line. Khalil Hamilton on the little crossing route that went for 52 big yards last week in the loss to County and put Mitchell on the move. Just straight strength of Khalil Hamilton with a great run after the catch. One of the Lions had him by the jersey. The other one came up and hit him in the lower legs, and it didn't knock him off his feet. He ended up pulling out of the shirt tackle and falling out of bounds at the 29-yard line for the first down for the Marauders. Now Hersham resets in the formation on the right-hand side. He'll take the cross back up a big hole in the middle off the left-hand side, and he'll spin his way down inside the 20-yard line. Tackle made by Garcia deep in the Lions' backfield. So Mitchell on the move, back-to-back first downs on big runs, finally finding something to put together this offense here on their second drive. Inside of 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. The Marauders looking to cut into this 21-point deficit. Hersham in motion again, setting up at the wing on the right. Pitch it to Hamilton. Hamilton cuts it back on a run, spins down close to the 5-yard line. That'll be a gain of 11 and a first and goal for the Marauders at the 9. So the coaches up in the booth have found something for Corey Anderson. Coach Anderson out of that last timeout. That is 3 first downs for the Marauders in quick succession. So we'll see if Mitchell can finish it off here. Power eye to the right, Hamilton deep behind Duzenet. They'll give it off inside. Ball on the ground, loose. Fight for it. Lions say they came away with it. No official signal yet, and there it is. So the fumble at the 10-yard line by Angel Mondragon stops this drive for the Marauders and gives the Lions the ball at their own 10. But what a tough way to end that drive for the Marauders as they had moved it. The best drive of the day for the Marauders ends with the turnover at the 10-yard line. So Moss in the shotgun again, fires it out left, receiver screen, fighting off one receiver, but then being swarmed under. That is no attack on the far side. Good contact in coverage by the Marauders, but Tack able to spin out of that. But then the host of Marauders swarming kept that to a gain of just 1. It will be 2nd and 9. Injured Marauder coming off the field slowly now. Looks like it might be Caleb Tomey, the 5'11", 190-pound senior. And he makes it to the sideline. He'll get looked at by the trainer. So 2nd and 9. Moss in the spread formation. Fires down the left-hand side. A little bit out of the reach. The intended receiver was Devontae Street, who has a touchdown. But stride for stride with Street was Mondragon for the Marauders. So 3rd and 9 now for the Lions. Throw that receiver screen out to this side and nowhere to go. The pass was complete to John Shoney, the senior, but wrapped up instantly. Check that, not Shoney, that was Eric Cumley to this side. So it will be 4th and 10, and that is the end of the first quarter. From Gary Berry Stadium, the game between the Lutheran Lions and the Mitchell Marauders. And it is 21-0 in favor of Lutheran as we break the first quarter. The public is invited and encouraged to make their way down to the Central Administration Office as the instructional materials that have been recommended for adoption into our schools are on display for this week from October 1st through the 5th from 8 in the morning until 5 in the evening on the 2nd floor hallway of the main administration building at 1115 North El Paso Street. Or you can go online to D11.org, look under the academics tab, and you'll be able to review those materials online if you can't make it downtown to the admin building. Again, that is just from the 1st of October to the 5th. So next week, you can fill out comment forms online or down at the Central Administration Building. So 4th and 9 punt formation as we get ready to start the second quarter. Back to punt is no attack. Attack with 5 punts on the year and an average of 24 yards per kick. Fielded at the 50-yard line and making his way, breaking tackles, still on his feet. The Marauders inside the 35. A great return for Tamar Davis, the 5'8", 140-pound senior. And that is return on the play of 17 for Davis, and it puts Mitchell in good field position at the Lutheran 33-yard line. Let's see if Mitchell can build on their momentum of the last drive. Pitch to the left to Hamilton. Hamilton running hard, lowers his shoulder, gets down to the 25. He'll pick up 8 on the play. So Mitchell's offense starts to move the ball a little bit, and the defense holds Lutheran without a first down, forcing a punt deep from the Lions' own end. And good field position. Now 2nd and 2 after the gain of 8. Receiver left and right. Wingman to the right, straight eye for the Marauders. Handed off to Hamilton on the left-hand side. And second effort is going to get him inside the 25, pick up a yard. We'll bring up 3rd and a yard. Now they will move the spot of the ball back to the 25, so no gain on the play to bring up 3rd and 2 for the Marauders. In on the tackle for the Lions, Wyatt Gonglak, in the middle of that defense. Offset the eye, put the wing in motion on the left, handed on that little inside run to the wing. That is going to be enough for a first down. Picked up 3, did Mondragon. That was the same play that Mitchell had fumbled on down at the 10 at the other end. Start the wing in motion, kick him to the outside, and then drag him back across the middle of the formation and hand in the ball right off guard. And it's good for a Mitchell first down at the 22-yard line. $10:21 to go here before half. Lions on top, 21-0. And there is going to be a penalty on the Marauders. Angel Mondragon came across the formation right to left in motion, and he got started forward a little too fast, just tapping on his shoulder pads, saying, yep, that was me. But that'll cost the Marauders 5, make it 1st and 15. Move the ball all the way back out to the 27-yard line. Malachi Brown is number 12 for the Marauders. He is split out left, and pressure coming on Thane Duzenak, and they have got him back for a big loss all the way back outside the 35 to the 36-yard line. Just too much pressure coming. And with the sack, that is Brody Schneider, a senior. Loss on the play all the way back to the 36-yard line. So a loss of 9 on the play. Brings up a 2nd and 24 for the Marauders. Offset eye to the left. Roll Duzenak this way. Flag flies, and Duzenak trying to throw it. And I believe it got batted at the line by Dorian Pacheco. But a flag at the start of the play. Sideline warning against Lutheran. So we will replay the down. Hersham splits to the left for the Marauders. This time they throw it to him down the seam, or actually that's Robertson down the seam, or Brown down the seam, my apologies. And the pass from Dusenek just a little bit too tall. Brown had an opening in the seam inside the 10, but the pass just a little bit too high. That stops the clock with 8:46 left to go, and will bring up 4th and 24 for the Marauders. So a mixed bag of success for the Marauders. The last drive going so good. They pick up a first down on this drive, and then the penalty and the sack sets them back at 4th and 24. Offense on the field, trailing by 3 touchdowns. 3 receivers set to the left-hand side. Roll Dusenek to this side. Pressure coming, and he will be drugged down for a sack. That is Pacheco with the sack all the way back at the 41. It'll be a loss of 5. And for Dorian Pacheco, that is sack number 2 on the year. He got one last week in the win against Falcon. But that, more importantly, turns it over to the Lions, who come straight off the sideline. The Lions have been no huddle the entire game. So Mitchell turns it over on downs, cannot take advantage of the great field position. Lutheran takes over at their 41. 3 receivers to the left, 1 receiver to the right. No attack is a receiver to the right. Moss, good protection, throws it to Tack. And Tack is brought down across the midfield stripe at the 44-yard line. Tackle for the Marauders. Made by Ramon Mendiaz-Racho. But a first down from the 44 for the Marauders. Moss with the pitch out. And breaking tackle is getting ahead for 10 yards and a late flag coming in. That is Landon Latino. Latino, the leading rusher for the Lions, 53 carries for 223 coming in. Now has to shake some pellets out of his helmet. And this one's going to come back as the Lions are called for holding. Flag lies at the 40, so 10 yards back will push them back to the 15. And Mitchell has taken its 3rd and final timeout of the first half here. 8:12 to go in the second quarter. Mitchell trailing by 21. And timeout for the Lions as the Lions, with the penalty, move back to midfield. Again, the instructional items that have been recommended for adoption by our schools in District 11 are on review this week, October 1st through the 5th, at the 2nd floor hallway at the main administration building, 1115 North El Paso Street in Colorado Springs. Or you can look online at D11.org under the academics tab and see the materials there and post your comments on the website or live in person. We invite you to do that. But there is just this week for comments. Lions back out, 3 receivers to the right of the formation. Now motion is Garcia. So 2 and 2, thrown down the seam, and this one's in the hands of a Mitchell defender, Medias Racho, and he cannot hang on to it. Triple coverage on the intended receiver, Devontae Street. The pass was long and into the arms of the Marauders, but they could not hold it. That would have been a huge turnover. Bring up 2nd and 15 as it is for the Lions. We'll see if that plays out big, if the Lions end up scoring on this drive after all, after giving Mitchell an opportunity. Pass out to the left flat. Eric Cumley with the reception. He's able to motor back inside Mitchell territory, knocked out of bounds at the 42-yard line. So a pickup of 8, and that will bring up a 3rd and 8. Quickly back to the line. Moss with Latino right to his right in the shotgun formation. Motion to the right, sets up trips, roll Moss to this side, out in the flats. This one's up in the air, batted around, almost intercepted, and falling to the ground. Joe Williams had a chance for the Marauders, as no attack was the intended receiver, but good coverage by the Marauders. They had their hands on it once again and unable to do anything with it. So now 4th and 8 for the Lions. Ball spotted at the 42-yard line. Offense still on for the Lions. Moss puts 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Straight back drop, firing down the seam, and this one's caught for the first down and dragged down inside the 20, close to the 17. That is Garcia with the catch. So load up 3 receivers to that right side, and we've got an injured Marauder back outside the 45. And so an official's timeout for the injury. 7:48 to go. Mitchell has had their hands on it twice with interception opportunities and missed out on both chances. Now Lutheran has it inside the 20 at the 18, 1st and 10. Mitchell, a smaller squad, numbers-wise, can't afford any injuries. So now both teams make their way to their coaches who come out to the numbers. And if you're Stephen Adams, the coach of Lutheran, you want the score here to raise the score and really put this game out. Let your substitution pattern get some playing time for your underclassmen. Good news for the Marauders. Getting on his feet and making his way off was Cajun Smith, the 6'2 junior, 5 pounds. He makes it to the bench, and the trainers will take a look at what looked to be an ankle. And we've started the clock, and Lions again without a huddle. Moss in the shotgun. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Garcia comes in motion for the Lions. Keeper for Moss as he runs to the right. Now he throws it, and good tackle by Hamilton. Moss dumped it off to Tack. And that is going to be a gain of maybe 1 for Tack as they spot him about the 18. Actually, they're going to call that no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10. for the Lions. Now, Moss and the linemen huddle up with the receivers in formation. That's the closest thing we've seen to a huddle out of the Lions. Give off the middle. And that is Latino pulling ahead close to the 10-yard line. They'll spot him at the 12. That'll be a gain of 5. Bring up 3rd and 5 for the Lions. So 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. This spread formation that the Lions have deployed the entire first half. Fake the throw down the seam, wide open, the tight end getting into the action for the Lions, and touchdown. It comes at 6:19. And now the officials, I don't see a flag on the play anywhere, but the officials have stopped play. So there is a penalty against Lutheran. Wipe out the touchdown. So with the penalty, it looked like an illegal substitution penalty or an illegal participation penalty. Brings the ball back to the 18. 3rd and 10. Moss back running that same crossing pattern, and this one is dropped by number 88. Unfortunately, we don't have an 88 on our roster for Lutheran. And looking through the stats chart, I don't see an 88 there, so that might be a road jersey versus a home jersey thing. So now it is 4th and 10. So the penalty wipes out points for the Lions, and they take their first time out of the first half. 6:01 left before halftime here at Gary Berry Stadium. You hear the Mitchell Band under the direction of Andy King playing for the home fans here. So Lutheran took the ball to start the game, drove down, and it was Moss to Garcia from 11 yards out to make it 6-0, and then the 2-point conversion. And then Lutheran chose to angle kick or onside kick. It was recovered by Lutheran at the Mitchell 49-yard line after some confusion. They drove down, and it was a 20-yard pass to Street for the touchdown and the 14-0 lead, and the 2-point conversion did fail. Then Mitchell got the ball for their first time and punted, and then Lutheran took over at the 29-yard line, and Pacheco scored from 39 yards out. Mitchell got the ball for the second time right about midfield as another angle kick or an onside kick by Lutheran was recovered by the Marauders. They drove down to the Lutheran 10 and then fumbled, recovered by the Lions. Moss rolls out back of the end zone and out of bounds. Out of bounds is the call by the near side official. And Lutheran will turn it over to the Marauders on downs. It'll be 1st and goal for the Marauders at their own 18-yard line. But the Mitchell defense doing just enough. Now, if the offense could put some of its more recent success together. And Mitchell on the last 2 drives has moved the ball a little bit. Turned it over in Lutheran territory about the 25 on the last drive. Hamilton deep in the eye, receiver left, receiver right. Duzenek under center. Give it off to Hamilton on the right-hand side. He'll gain a yard out to the 20. It will be 2nd and 9. And, of course, the Marauders playing without Jalen Babers, who was ejected from last week's game. He is down on the field in strict clothes today, serving the suspension for the ejection. But Babers, an exciting move back to the Mitchell area and back to Mitchell from California, where last year he supplied a 1,000-yard rushing effort for his high school team there in Northern California. Offset eye for Hamilton. Roll Duzenek out this way. Throw back across to Hersham, and that ball skips in a little bit low. On the coverage was Tack for the Lions. But Duzenek rolling out to his left, trying to throw across his body a little bit, and the throw for Hersham was a little bit low. So it will be 3rd and 8 for the Marauders. Approaching the 5-minute mark on a sunny day here in Colorado Springs with some high clouds out and about. Supposed to be a high of 80, but I don't think we're going to get there today. Temperature at our 1 o'clock kickoff was around 60 degrees. And that pass from Duzenek intended for Malachi Brown falls incomplete. That will make it 4th and 8. Temperature actually up to 78 degrees. Not looking for any precipitation this afternoon as we get to the end of September. And this punt by Duzenek is a good one. And we've got a flag down as one of the Lions was blocking one of the Marauders past the ball. The question was, and the Mitchell fans, of course, are screaming that he touched it, but I don't think he did. But that was an unnecessary block by Jack Whitaker, the sophomore. Ball spotted, and when it died at the 29, Marauders were surrounding it. So this will cost the Lions 10 more. Move the ball all the way back to the 19-yard line, and that is where Lutheran will start with 4:50 left to go before half. Big hole up the middle, weaving his way through one man to beat, and he can't break out of the tackle. That was Luke Arnold getting all the way up to the 39-yard line. Gain of 20 on the play. Touchdown saving tackle by Angel Mondragon for the Marauders. Give it to Arnold again. Arnold comes to the near side to the right, where he is first slowed down by Hamilton. And then there to lead the charge was Ben Hersham, holding that to just a gain of 4 out to the 43-yard line. So it'll bring up 2nd and 6. So running with the hot hand now, who is Luke Arnold in the backfield. Now we've got the stoppage of play by the officials. Whistle to resume play. Fake to Arnold, and a nice pass to an open receiver, and running free for the touchdown. 5 and to the goal line. That again is Devontae Street with his 2nd touchdown. That will go for 57 yards. Moss to Street. And a nice fake on the give off, locking the Mitchell linebackers and allowing the quick crossing post pattern to Street. Then Street just flat out ran about 4 Marauders to the end zone. Making it 27-0 with 3:48 to go. Extra point attempt by Smolin. The hold is down. Smolin's kick is up and good. So 28-0. And the Lions add to this lead right before halftime, showing a little quick strike capability as they try to get to 2 and 3 with back-to-back wins in the Pikes Peak region. They got their first win of the season last week out at Falcon. And looking to strengthen their record before the start of league play next week. Corey Anderson has his team huddled up right in front of the Mitchell bench, trying to give encouragement. Now the Marauders take the field. Mitchell fans still into the game despite the large deficit. Smolin again with the angle kick. It is covered up and fallen on by one of the Marauders. So Mitchell will start at the 48-yard line. Again, because of the lack of deep kicking game by the Lions, using these onside kicks or just short squib kicks, Mitchell has started with great field position most of the game. I formation for the Marauders. Duzenek back, throws a little swing pass to Hamilton, gets him out in the flat, ready to run, and a good tackle stops him right there by no attack of the Lions. Still good for a gain of 6. Thane Duzenek not having the passing year that he would like to have. Came into the game 18 of 46 for 177 yards, 1 TD and 2 interceptions. Hamilton with a 52-yard reception last week moved over the 100-yard receiving post. Now Hamilton tries the right-hand side, and he's going to find the sledding tough as he's brought down by Landon Latino for a gain of 2 at the 44-yard line of the Lions. So Mitchell sticking with its game plan despite the large deficit. Duzenek under center. Hashem comes in motion again. Fake, roll out into the flat for Hersham. Hersham crossing, but he was in the middle of 3 Lions. And the pass is incomplete. So it will be 4th and 2 for the Marauders. And Duzenek dropping back into punt formation as the offense makes its way off the field. Lurk Arnold taking position inside the 10. Duzenek stands just inside the 45 of Mitchell, ready to kick it away. And it's a fake straight up the middle. Hamilton gets just enough for the first down, down to the 41-yard line, gain of 3. So Hamilton takes the short snap and bowls his way forward ahead for a Mitchell first down. Gutsy call by Corey Anderson. That would have given the Lions great field position. But as it is, Mitchell still alive with the offense, driving. Now let's see what they can do from the Lions 41. Hersham to the right. Little crossing pattern intended out there for Tamar Davis falls incomplete. A good job defensively by Eric Cumley, flashing late into the flat pattern and got in the passing lane. There was 2 receivers. Hersham was going out into the flat, and Davis was coming from the outside to the in, and they were trying to hit Davis on the deeper route. But Cumley dropping through there made for Dusenak to have to throw that a little bit lower than he wanted to. So now 2nd and 10. Hersham comes back in, kicks out. Now this is Hamilton, spins away from one tackle. We've got a flag back at the 40-yard line. Hamilton got ahead for 9. It looks like we're going to have an illegal block in the back on the Marauders, which is going to bring this gain of 9 back. And the Marauders moving back. Block in the back on the Marauders. What a costly penalty for the Marauders. And it'll move the ball all the way back to their own 49-yard line. Bring up 2nd and 20. Instead of having a 3rd and short, a short 2. Brown to the bottom of the formation. I formation. Deep man is Hamilton. Give it to Hersham straight up. Give it to Hersham. Hersham's ahead for short gain of 4. It'll be 3rd and 16. Timeout called by the Lions with 1:29 to go. Looking to get this ball back. Mitchell has it at the Lutheran 47-yard line. $28-0. If you're just tuning into the podcast, thank you so much for the tune in here on the District 11 YouTube podcast channel. Looking ahead for our schedule of future podcasts, next Friday night here from the stadium, we will have Air Academy versus Coronado. The Cadets red hot, and Coronado putting together a solid start to the season. Then on the 11th, we hope to have Pueblo West versus Coronado. And then on the 12th, Grand Junction Central versus Palmer. Then on the 18th, Pine Creek versus Palmer. And on the 19th, Sand Creek versus Mitchell. All the District 11 podcasts coming your way in the near future. The officials wanting 1:35 put back on the clock, adding 6 seconds to the clock here. Third and 16 for the Marauders. Lions hoping to get one more opportunity with the ball. Marauders just trying to find the end zone. Put some solid plays together to close out the half to avoid their second straight shutout here. Dusenak under center, now rolls to the right, launches downfield. Battle down, and there is a pass interference flag. Tamar Davis, the intended receiver. And J.J. Smolin back in coverage for the Lions defense. So now the officials talk about that at the 43-yard line. A break for the Marauders as they get the interference call. So we'll move it ahead and repeat third down. So 3rd and 16 just became 3rd and 1 after the penalty. Mitchell fans imploring the offense 2-down territory. Thane Duzenak just takes it over the right-hand side on a quarterback keeper, and he'll be down to the 28 and a Mitchell first down. And Lutheran has one timeout left, but with the Mitchell first down, unless there's a turnover, it doesn't look like the Lions are going to get the ball back to expand on this 28-0 lead. Offset eye, Hamilton, the deep man, pitch it to the left-hand side where the line was stacked. He'll dive inside the 25 to the 24. The pickup of 4 on the play. 2nd and 6 for the Marauders. Mitchell in a no huddle now as we approach 60 seconds before the half. Duzenak back now, throws to the outside for Robertson, and in and out of the hands of Malachi Brown at the goal line. Had the defender beat wide open. Duzenak dropped it right in his hands, and the young man unable to come up with it. That stops the clock at 53 seconds. Makes it 3rd and 6 for the Marauders. But Malachi Brown will live that one. Gets a pat on the helmet from his quarterback after the miss. Duzenak walks into the center of the huddle, confidently calls the play. Sends Brown to the left again. Davis split to the right. Rolls out to the right. In trouble, and he will be dropped. Getting great penetration for Lutheran, and with the sack was Lance Crow, the senior. The defensive end held his block and then shed the block and got to the quarterback. That is going to be a loss all the way back to the 32-yard line when they spot it. So that'll be a loss of 5. Bring up 4th and 14 for the Marauders. So Mitchell on an earlier drive got lucky when they dropped a couple of interception opportunities. Lutheran failed to score, turning it over on downs on that possession. And then just kind of like last week, they had an interception, or they had a completion in the end zone that was dropped for a touchdown. Would have changed the situation in that game. Made it closer before Pueblo County ran out to the shutout, 41-0. It was a close ball game at the time. Now Mitchell lines up for a field goal attempt. This would be a 50-yard kick if it's made. This one's low and gathered in on the fly by Latino. Landon Latino returning it, cuts back across field, and he will be dropped at the 50-yard line. But 30 seconds left to go for the Lions. Don't know what Corey Anderson was thinking there, attempting a 50-yard field goal. But the kick was very low, and it came to Latino about shoulder height, and Latino was able to put a great little return on it of about 35 yards. Now the Lions have 30 seconds to work from midfield with this high-powered passing offense. Moss makes his way to the huddle. Spread formation. Moss stands at the 45. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers to the right. Straight back pressure coming. And this one through the hands of Tamar Davis, the only man back there. Miscommunication on the route. But another opportunity for Mitchell to turn this ball back over. Don't know where Moss was throwing to. He must have had somebody on a fly route, but the receiver broke it off short and nearly caused an interception for the Marauders. Now down to 24.5 seconds. 2nd and 10 from midfield. Moss takes a low snap, pumps once, now lays it down the near sideline. The pass is caught and stepping out of bounds at the 25-yard line. That is no attack. Tack had come into this game with 37 receptions for 396 yards. Adds another reception and another big gain of 25 with that catch. 18.4 on the clock for the Lions. They wind the clock with the spotting of the ball and the setting of the chains. Moss delays, now rolls out to his left. Throws it out into the flats, down, staying in bounds. And the clock will run. Looked like Nick Moss was the receiver down there. Stayed in bounds, though. Down to 1 second. And I think Lutheran there snapped the ball too early. That is the end of the quarter as the ball's incomplete. But I was looking at the umpire, and he was just now starting to wind his arm, and he even looked over and saw the Lutheran quarterback had the ball in his hands. So a little early snap, but it turns out for not. But a good first half for the visitors. The Lions put up 28 points, and they have shut the Marauders out through the first half. It is halftime here at Gary Berry Stadium. Time for a quick break. We invite you to stay tuned for the second half of football here from Gary Berry Stadium.
Achieve Online is District 11's own online school. Our highly qualified certified teacher. Achieve Online is District 11's own online school. Our highly qualified certified teachers are District 11 staff. High school students can earn up to 18 credits per year. Achieve Online offers electives like web design, video game design, culinary arts, sports entertainment marketing, and photography, with space to participate in these electives. Achieve Online can help you be prepared for college and your future.
Our school has benefited in a couple of different ways. One, our Grand Friends bring great expertise in areas of expertise to the table when they work with our students. And another area is relationships. They've connected well with their kids. They work well with their kids and really develop that relationship to help motivate kids and engage them and want to be at school.
It has really benefited me as a teacher, but it's benefited my students because they get to do a lot of activities that I normally wouldn't be able to do. And I know that she can handle it because she has that experience.
It's just a great link to the community, our students. It's nice for them to build connections and relationships with folks outside of Palmer, and vice versa. I think for the community to see what's happening here is exciting as well.
Well, I think the Grand Friends program is a valuable asset, but more importantly, I think the Grand Friends who are volunteering are the real assets in our community.
Grand Friends are wonderful to have. They bring such energy to the classroom. The kids love having them there.
And so having Grand Friends in, whether they're related to our students or whether it's a retired educator or just someone in the community, in the neighborhood, it's so important to have them come here and work with our students so that the kids can interact with them and they can learn from each other.
I really believe that our Grand Friends program is invaluable, not only to the students, but to our community as a whole, because they provide the example that we all hope to be able to emulate.
It is such an invaluable experience to have, someone who's a grandparent figure in the room working with the kids. It is awesome.
She comes in here when she doesn't really need to, and she comes in here and helps us out, like on our writing or something that we don't understand.
I assist my classroom teacher at Queen Palmer Elementary School, Mrs. Heiss, in whatever capacity that she needs for me to fill.
It's so rewarding to work with the children. They're so appreciative and very willing to give hugs and let you know that they're very, very happy that you're there.
This is a very, very rewarding way to give back to the community. And if you think you might at all be interested in it and have some talent in it, give it a try.
It gives me a purpose. I mean, I work part-time, but to come to the school and do what I love, it really is. It keeps me young, hanging around all these young kids. They guess, well, are you 40? Well, are you 80? Well, are you? And then they'll say, no, she's only 50. And I go, okay, we'll take 50.
I love the interaction I have with the students. They just fill me with joy. And especially if I can see that one of them has gotten a concept that they've been struggling with, that just lights me up.
I'm going to give as much of myself as I can, as long as I can.
Welcome, military families. Colorado Springs School District 11 is the largest and oldest school district in Colorado Springs. With over 50 schools, we guarantee that we have a program that will meet your child's needs and your expectations as a parent. For more information, visit www.d11.org/welcome or contact Carmelito Carrillo, School Liaison for Military Families at 425-0642.
This is Luke Vercoloni and Ronnie Argueta, midfielders for the Switchbacks. We have a message for families into our community. There are few things as exciting as scoring a goal. One goal we all have in common is helping our students score opportunities for their future. Whether our students want to go to college, trade school, the military, or enter a career, let's help our students shoot for their goals. Ask a student how you can help them complete their ICAP requirements. Ask your student in their school how to help them connect the student to the world of work, education, and career. Mi nombre es Ronnie Argueta, centrocampista de los Switchbacks. Tengo un mensaje para mis amigos en la escuela primaria y secundaria. En cada partido en el que juego siempre hay un plan. Usted también necesita un plan juego para tener éxito en la escuela y en la vida. Una de las decisiones más grandes que usted tomará es sobre su educación y carrera. Sepa lo que quiere lograr en sus objetivos personales, no deje pasar su futuro, hable con su consejero escolar y su familia sobre cómo puede completar sus requisitos de ICAP para sobresalir.
Sometimes it just seems like there aren't enough hours in the day. We're told,
wake up early,
eat a good breakfast, brush your teeth,
work hard in all your
Get
classes.
involved.
It'll determine your
Oh,
future.
you don't have a job?
Exercise,
Get a job.
get outside.
Don't forget to get your homework
Why aren't
done.
you getting enough sleep? Are you okay?
It might seem like there is nothing you can do, but really, there is. First, make a routine and plan your week. Second, ask for help. You don't have to do this alone. And last, celebrate your successes and know when to surrender. Just remember that you can't do everything. I know it sounds hard, but with a little hard work and dedication, you can get through it.
The Digital High School is a place where D11 students can come to recover credits. Our mission is to partner with D11 high schools in order to increase the graduation rate throughout the district. Our curriculum is computer-based. Students work at their own pace with certified teachers on hand to offer assistance when needed. The Digital High School offers courses that correspond with D11 curriculum, which are all aligned to state standards. Our program allows for the flexibility of students who have a job but still want to attend classes and work towards graduation. The Digital High School offers morning and afternoon sessions for full-time students. We also have an option for students who are attending their regular high school to attend Digital High School 2 evenings a week. We offer a low-pressure learning atmosphere for students ages 16 through 20 years old. The Digital High School gives students a chance to reconnect with the school environment.
I'm attending Digital High School because it's helping me get my credits to graduate on time. Also, I like that the classroom is smaller and it's more.
Located at the Roy J. Wasson Academic Campus, the Digital High School is able to offer qualified students the option of daycare. There's also a cafeteria on campus filled with lots of delicious, nutritious food run by the District 11 award-winning Food and Nutrition Services Department. Enrollment is year-round, and seniors do have preference over underclassmen. Because District 11 is a district of choice, students outside of District 11 can choice into the digital high school. Upon completion of council-recommended courses, all students will receive a D11 high school diploma from their home high school. Students will be able to walk in their home high school's graduation ceremony.
Registering for digital school was very easy. We came in one day and it was done and over with. The teachers at digital school are very phenomenal. They answer any questions you have. They will sit and talk with you whenever you need somebody to talk to. They're just really exceptional people.
It's basically one-on-one. It's just you and the computer. So you're able to read, comprehend everything. If you don't comprehend it, you can basically ask questions. It's just like normal school. It's pretty easy to graduate as long as you take the time and put in the effort, and then you get to walk with your actual public school that you came in to digital with.
Hi everybody, I'm John Bailey, principal of the digital school here in School District 11. We'd like to welcome you to our new campus. Please stop by, give us a call. My door is always open. This is District 11's premier credit recovery program, and we would love to have you as a student. Thank you.
For more information, check out our website or give us a call at 328-3079.
I signed up for Career Boost because of my kids, actually. They wanted me to become a preschool teacher. They both encouraged me, and this is actually the first step.
I needed a change in my life, and I just wanted to take that step forward and getting further in my career.
I came to Colorado for a better job and a better life. I got tired of bouncing around from job to job and not having anything to look forward to. I'm expecting Career Boost to pretty much kind of cement a more permanent career path.
Everything's lined up from beginning to end. The teachers, the people you consult with at the Workforce Center, and it's just great. And then the internship, I couldn't pass up that opportunity.
Somebody told me about the Career Boost IT, and I love computers, so I signed up. Career Boost will help me in my career because I actually had very little, if any, prospects.
Everything is laid out for you. There's a lot of computers, a lot of different people that are willing to help you achieve your goal to return more to society that they have given to you. So it's great.
You're going to pay me to learn what I want to learn, and I've been trying to learn for years. Awesome. Sign me up.
When I learn more, I'll be teaching in this country.
It's awesome. It's a good way to get some training in a trade and a good way to get your foot in the door.
I signed up for Career Boost because I wanted to get more experience in the field of welding, but I wanted to know more about it.
I didn't know much about welding, but I had heard about it. A lot of my friends did it. They said it was really interesting, a lot of fun. So I signed up for it.
I'm confident that I've learned a lot and I'm qualified for a lot of the jobs available. It's a good opportunity. I would suggest that they consider it because there's a lot to learn.
If you're thinking about enrolling in Career Boost, do it.
Do it.
I would just do it.
Do it.
Don't give up. You can make it. Keep trying and keep going at it. It's going to be a good career when you do.
Still trying to find a place to host your special event? District 11 has meeting spaces, lecture halls, auditoriums, gymnasiums, swimming pools, and more available to rent. Call the District 11 rental office. We can help you plan your next event.
Many kids start drinking in middle school. Nationally, 1 out of every 2 8th graders has tried alcohol. Here in Colorado, 1 out of 5 of us had our first real drink of alcohol before the age of 13. It doesn't matter what type of alcohol we may have been allowed to drink or first tried. Drinking alcohol can harm our growing bodies and brains in ways many people don't realize. That's why it is important for us to grow up alcohol-free. As an adult, allowing those of us under the age of 21, especially kids my age, to drink alcohol from time to time, even just a couple of sips, may seem to be a harmless, trivial, or non-threatening act, but it's not. The stakes are high for those of us introduced to alcohol at an early age. It's a proven fact that children who begin drinking alcohol before the age of 15 are 5 times more likely than those who start after age 21 to develop alcohol dependence problems. Did you know that the risks of alcohol use among children and youth is strongly associated with violence, risky sexual behavior, poor academic performance, illicit drug use, and other harmful behaviors? Help prevent underage drinking problems before they start. When you host social gatherings for our family and friends, remember that we are a part of the gathering too. Plan for our participation in social gatherings and events. If you're a parent, be clear that you do not want us to drink alcohol before we turn 21 at any social function we may attend. If you're the host of the party or social gathering, make sure your guests know that you don't allow underage drinking at your get-togethers. If there's alcohol at your gathering, find a responsible adult who can help serve and monitor the alcohol supply while you are busy entertaining. Prevent underage drinking. It's an adult responsibility. Do your part.
I didn't know.
1 in 10 high schoolers seriously consider suicide.
More people die of suicide than of car crashes.
Know the signs.
Depression. Alcohol abuse.
Giving away possessions.
It's what you can do now that matters. Don't leave them alone.
Tell someone.
Don't be afraid to ask the question, are you thinking about suicide?
Ask someone, anyone, for help.
Call the hotline.
Don't keep suicide a secret.
Break the silence.
That school bus is yellow for a reason. Yellow means caution. Those flashing lights are red for a reason. Red means stop.
Hey girl, what's up? Nothing much.
Never pass a stopped school bus. Don't pass from either direction. It's not just the law, it's a child's life.
Brought to you by Child Safety Network and the School Bus Safety Company.
And we are back to Gary Berry Stadium, where the Mitchell Marauder High School Band is on the field performing for homecoming here at the stadium. And the Lutheran Lions lead the Mitchell Marauders by the score of 28-0, scoring 14 points in the first 2 possessions following an onside kick. Let's turn things over to the Mitchell Band for the rest of their performance here at halftime. The Lions on top, 28-0. And the Mitchell band making their way off the field now as the teams make their way back from the locker rooms onto the field. Barry Reed bringing you this District 11 high school football podcast between the Lutheran Lions and the Mitchell Marauders here on the District 11 Media Production Services YouTube channel. Thank you so much for the tune in today. Let's recap the scoring while we have the teams warming up before we get the second half underway. Lutheran took the opening kickoff and drove from the 25-yard line of their own 25 down for the score. It was Moss to Garcia for an 11-yard touchdown and the 6-point advantage. They went for two and converted to make it an 8-0 advantage. Then attempted what appeared to be an onside kick and recovered it at the Mitchell 49-yard line, driving down, and it was Moss to Street for the touchdown to make it 14-0 from 20 yards out. The 2-point conversion failed. They held Mitchell to a punt, and then Pacheco on a 39-yard run scored the touchdown. The next Mitchell possession, Mitchell took over at their own 48, drove down to the Lutheran 10 where they fumbled, turning the ball over after picking up 5 first downs on that drive. Then from the 10, they forced Lutheran to punt, and Mitchell got the ball at the Lutheran 33 but turned it over on downs. Lutheran took over and teams changed possessions until late in the second quarter when Moss to Street connected again, this from 57 yards out, making it 27-0. And the Smolin extra point made it 28-0. So you're up to date on the scoring. The Marauders are out of the locker room with their warm-ups here. And the Lions have yet to make their way out of the locker room. Some of the coaches are on the sidelines for the Lutheran Lions. But it has been a pretty good offensive show by the Lions. Mitchell had it for the second straight week, had a touchdown dropped in the end zone where they could have that could have trimmed the lead or the deficit to 28-6 and given them some momentum here to start the second half with. But it was for naught. And good thing is Lutheran got the ball back, moved it down, but due to penalties, missed out on the opportunity to score right before the end of the half, saving Mitchell the prospect of being down 35-0. We are still waiting for the Lions to come out of the locker room. But what a good day for the quarterback, Nick Moss, for the Lions. He came in with 7 touchdowns. He's added 3 more to that. Garcia has his 3rd touchdown, and Street his 3rd touchdown. Street came in with 1, but he has tallied 2 here today. And now the Lions come out of the locker room as the Mitchell band is making its way back into the stands here on the west side of the stadium. Nice day outside, temperature in the upper 70s, wind blowing south to north here at the stadium. So weather has not been a problem. And the Mitchell fans, despite the big deficit and the lack of offense generated by their squad, has been in full throat most of the day, wanting to support the Marauders' cause. Lions going into their mandatory stretching here at the stadium. This is the final non-league matchup for both of these teams. Again, Lutheran came in 3-1 after defeating Falcon last week by the score of 21-20. In a game where they trailed in the first half. They trailed 14-6 at the half, and then scored a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to knot it up at 14. And the teams traded touchdowns And the Lions got the extra point from Smolin for the 21-20 victory over the Falcons. But a big day offensively, not only for Moss and Street, but the running game has been solid. Latino and Luke Arnold having good days as well. Lutheran has turned it over on downs twice, has had to punt just once, but 4 touchdowns into the mix. And watching the kickoffs following each of the Lutheran scores, they have not tried to kick the ball deep at all. Every kickoff has either been a line drive at one of the up linemen for the Marauders or an angle kick like an onside, which they got on their first one, surprising Mitchell and giving them a chance to add to the scores. The start of league next week for the Marauders sees them traveling down to Sierra to take on the Stallions. Then they will travel out to Falcon to take on the Falcons before hosting Sand Creek on the 19th and Canyon City on the 27th. And they will finish up the year on the 3rd of November against Harrison. Harrison 5-0 in league. And for the Lions, after today, they will start league play, hosting Palmer Ridge, and then traveling to Lewis Palmer before taking on Littleton and Discovery Canyon, and then finishing up with a very resurgent Thomas Jefferson out of Denver for their final league game. TJ was undefeated coming into the weekend's action. And of course, Discovery Canyon will always present a tough opponent there, but that will be at home for the Lions. Mitchell set to return as we get ready to get underway here. And an angle kick fielded by the Marauders and immediately dropping down to the ground. That is Tamar Davis. And Mitchell will start with the ball at the 42-yard line. Looking to play that second half of a ball game where it shows them getting 28 and or 29 and holding the Lions down and sneaking out of here with a 1-point victory. And you hear the Mitchell fans below us not giving up on their team despite their 0-4 record and the 4-touchdown deficit. I formation, receiver left and right. Dusenak gives it off to Hamilton. And Hamilton is going to get back to the line of scrimmage where he gets undercut. It will be 2nd and 10 for the Marauders. Kristen Tillotson coming off and getting an earful from his coach. Then getting a tap in the chest from his coach is a positive reinforcement. Wing right, offset eye for the Marauders. Pitch it to Hamilton on the right. Hamilton runs hard, but runs into the linebacking core. For the Lions, he'll have a gain out to the 45, so it'll be a gain of 3 and bring up 3rd and 7. Pacheco with the tackle for the Lions. Dorian Pacheco, the leading tackler, had 28 of his 36 tackles were solo. Luke Arnold second with 35 tackles, 22 of which were solo. And then Brody Schneider, number 50, 25 of his 50. And Dusenak in trouble. Brody Schneider gets back into the backfield, catches an ankle, and Dusenak just leaps forward. It'll be a loss of 3 back on the play, bring up 4th and 10 for the Marauders. But Brody Schneider knifes through, gets low, and gets a hold of the foot. Schneider, a senior on this Lions team. Lions in the last 2 years, the first two under Stephen Robbins, 10-10, 1-3, looking to go to 2-3 here in their coach's young career. Duzenak gets the kick away. It takes a Mitchell bounce inside the 5 and curls, and it is down at the 1 yard line. Thane Duzenak. The punt will count as a 57-yard punt. It hit about the 15-yard line, and Arnold got away from it. It looked like it was rolling to the end zone without the Marauders being able to get there, and then it just kind of hooked left and stopped at the 1 yard line, and the Marauders catch a huge break. Of course, Thane Duzenak's going to talk about all that week at school, about how he planned that the whole way out. But now let's see if the Mitchell defense, who held Lutheran to a punt when they had it at the 10, make something happen here and get on the scoreboard. 3-man front for the Marauders, shotgun for Moss. He stands in the middle of his own end zone. Pressure coming, give off the middle. And running hard is Pacheco, but Pacheco, or check that, is Landon Latino. Latino almost got trapped in the end zone, barely gets back to the line of scrimmage at the 1, and it will be 2nd and 10. Spread formation, Moss talking with Latino and his offensive lineman as the receivers stay out in their positions. Mitchell with the 3-man front and the linebackers right on the hip of the lineman, and that opens up a big hole for Moss, who scrambles out to the 10 straight up the middle. Mitchell was running some stunning there, stacking the linebackers on top of the linemen, and that Moss saw that and was patient, waited for a big hole to open up, then shot ahead for a gain of 8. Now 4-man front for Mitchell, crowd the linebackers, trying to stop the run. Pass comes out quickly into the flat, and it's going to be a pass for loss. Great initial hit for the Marauders. And then the swarming gang tackle, it was Khalil Hamilton. Hamilton and Davis teaming up, and there's a flag on the play at the 9-yard line. Ready to have that sorted out. And first indication is it's against the Lions. Illegal block in the back on the Lions. Corey Anderson has already told the umpire he wants to decline it. It's going to be 4th and 2 from the 9, it looks like, when they spot the ball. So the punt team comes on for the Lions. Good job by the Marauders defense. And now they will drop Hamilton back for the kick if it's actually kicked out of there. No attack on for the punt. Standing 3 yards deep in his end zone. Takes the snap, sidesteps one, and a high kick, not very deep, hits at the 26 and bounds to the right and hits the side linesman at the 27-yard line. Mitchell's going to start there in great field position after forcing the punt. So the Mitchell crowd reacting to the Mitchell's cheerleaders, encouraging this offense. Again, great field position for the Marauders. Let's see if Thane Duzenak and the offense can do anything with it. Wing to the right now. Give off to the fullback cutting through. That is Mondragon. And Mondragon fighting ahead for 4 down to the 23-yard line. We have 7:42 left to go here in the third quarter. It is 28-0 in favor of Lutheran. Mitchell with the ball, looking to get on the scoreboard. I formation, Hamilton is the deep man. Wing to the right, give it to Hamilton to the right. Hamilton spinning and fighting his way inside the 20 down to the 19. It'll be a gain of 4 and bring up 3rd and 2. So Mitchell staying with its running game. Down by 4 touchdowns. You want to see it in the air a little bit more, but Mitchell being patient. They got a great job by their defense, keeping the Lions deep in their own end to give them great field position. Offset eye now. Williams is the deep back. Fake it. Dusenak in trouble. The pass intended for Hamilton coming across at the 10, and the ball a little bit out in front of him. Second man in the pattern was Tillotson. So they rolled through Dusenak to his left and gave him 2 options. Without stopping to set his feet, he throws out a little bit wide. Both receivers were open. That brings up 4th and 2 for the Marauders here. And they'll put Williams behind Hamilton in the eye. Wing to the right. Pitch it to the right. Hamilton with the lead block for Williams, and Williams gets down to the 16-yard line. That should be a gain of 3 and enough for a Mitchell first down. So good pairing on the play. Now Hersom comes back in. First down, Mitchell at the 16-yard line. 6:38 to go here in the third quarter. Mitchell trying to crawl its way back into this game, trailing by 28. Brown splits way to the left. Single back formation, stack the line to the left, pitch it to Hamilton. And Hamilton tries to cut up, and it's going to cost him a yard, or he's going to hold it to just a gain of a yard, that is. Luke Arnold with the tackle for the Lions. So it will be 2nd and 8 from the 15-yard line. Mitchell can get a first down without scoring. They need to get inside the 7-yard line. And trouble with the snap. Dusenak dives for it. Still a fight under the pile. No official word yet who has it. It is Mitchell ball there. But trouble with the snap, and Dusenak had to just get on it. That's going to bring up 4th and 8. Ball still on the 15-yard line. Mitchell took over the ball on the 27-yard line of the Lions after forcing a punt, and a punt of less than 20 yards get them in great field position, but the offense has been unable to generate anything as we are under 5 minutes here in the third quarter, 4:46 and counting at the stadium. Spread formation, Dusenak in the shotgun. Williams in the backfield, picks up a blitz, now throws to the end zone. Nobody there. On a crossing pattern, one of the Marauders had fallen. I think it was trying to see a number. I think it was Tillotson or Williams. And that is going to bring up 4th and 8 from the 15. But a good job by Mitchell picking up that blitz. Dusenak had to step up a little bit soon, a little bit rushed under the pressure. Now Mitchell puts two receivers left, wing to the right with a receiver. Duzenek in the shotgun. Good time. Now he bolts off to the left. Got to get inside the 7. He does. He reaches for the pylon, but he steps out at the 4. But the gain of 11 will give Mitchell a first down. And first and goal at the 4 for the Marauders. Good patience by Thane Duzenak, standing, looking, going through his progressions. Then seeing nothing open, he just took off to the left and darted past a couple of Lions and got inside the 5 to the 4 for the first down. 4:23. Clock is stopped as Duzenak went out of bounds. Duzenak back in the huddle now after a quick conference with Corey Anderson. The up man is Mondragon. Deep in the eye is Hamilton. Receivers left and right. Hersham is the wing on the right. Give it to Mondragon on the left. He fumbles as he goes across the goal line. It's recovered by the Lions, and that will be a touchback. So the second touchdown for the Marauders today that was there and then not. The drop earlier and the fumble at the goal line. Now the officials will get together and talk about this to see if he had crossed the line, and it is ruled a touchback. So the Lions survive a scare as Mitchell drives for a Mondragon touchdown, but Mondragon coughed it up right at the goal line before he crossed the plane, and it will turn over as it's recovered by the Lions. Oh, heartbreak for Mitchell, and that takes a lot of the pep out of this Mitchell crowd below us.
Hey, Brad, you trying to cover your points, Brad?
So Lutheran in the spread formation from the 20 after the touchback. Out into the flat, completion is made and ahead across the 35 for a first down. That is Garcia taking the toss from Moss. But the Marauders, with a chance for 2 touchdowns, would have had the score cut in half by this point. Now the give off and just bullying his way forward, that is Latino. Latino is ahead for a gain of 7, and just like that, in 2 plays, the Lions are out across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Quickly back to the line of scrimmage against this deflated Mitchell defense. They played tough, gave it to the offense, and the offense gets stopped at the goal line. This is Latino again off the left-hand side, across the 45 to the 46, and enough for a first down. And with 3:38 left to go here in the third, we'll see if the Lions stay with the running game to run the clock or if they go back to their passing game. They're a 2-to-1 passing over running team. Flag out, Moss back out into the flat. And it is complete ahead to the 34 or the 44-yard line, but there was a flag on the play. Street, who has the 2 touchdowns, was the receiver, but it looks like this one might be coming back. Illegal motion on the offense, so it will come back and back the Lions up to the 41. 3:22, but we'll repeat first down, be first and 15 on the play. Moss in the shotgun, 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. In the backfield, pounding off the left-hand side, kept to a short gain, is Latino. Latino just a gain of 2. At right side of the Mitchell line, Greg Jones, Noah Pritchard, and Khalil Hamilton, the linebacker, making it tough sledding on the last play. Moss takes it in the shotgun, drops back, throws a deep post, and it is complete to Noah Tack. And Noah Tack will be into the end zone. Second scoring play of 57 yards for the Lions. No flags on the play. So Noah Tack, who has been a thorn in the side for the Marauders all game long, takes a pass from Moss and runs about the last 35 yards into the end zone. And that makes the lead 34-0. And the fourth touchdown for Moss today, giving him 11 on the year. And for Tack, being the leading receiver, that is touchdown number 1 on the year for Noah Tack. And Mitchell jumps off sides on the extra point. So we'll go half the distance and then kick it again. John Shoney, the senior, on for the kick now. Shoney 4 of 5 on his extra point attempts. He's also kicked a 37-yard field goal. Snap back, ball down, kick is up and good. And just like that, 2:27 left to go in the third quarter from Gary Berry Stadium. It is 35-0 in favor of Lutheran. So a reminder, as we have got a stoppage of play for the special teams to make their way onto the field, instructional materials that have been recommended for adoption into our District 11 schools are on display this upcoming week, October 1st through the 5th, on the second floor hallway of the District 11 Administration Building at 1115 North El Paso Street. If you can't make it down to the Administration Building, you can log on to D11.org and click on the Academics tab and see the review materials. And you can either put in a notice online, your comments, or you can fill out one of the slips we have on the second floor hallway of the Administration Building. And District 11, we invite our public to participate in reviewing these materials. And finally, a deep kick. This is Shoney with the kick, and he has put it into the end zone for the touchback. And that is touchback number 5 on the year for John Shoney. Now we've got whistle on the play, stopping things up on the touchback. So J.J. Smolin had done most of the kicking off until that moment, and they had decided to go short. Now there's a flag at the 35 on the Lutheran sideline, which is why we have our stoppage of play here. Lutheran has already gotten a one sideline warning earlier in the first half. We've got personal foul penalties on the Marauders and the Lions. So those penalties will offset. After it's all is said and done, we will spot it at the 20, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Marauders. But the cruel turn of events for the Marauders, the fumble at the goal line before the touchdown was scored. And then the Lions go 80 yards. Put that with the drop pass for a touchdown. There would have been a touchdown in the first half, and we've got a little different ball game on our hands here. Duzenak under center, I formation. Give it to Hamilton going left. Hamilton is going to be dropped for a loss. Actually, fumble on the play, and the Lions come up with it back at the 17. Making the play, recovering the fumble. That was Dorian Pacheco. And the Lions are in business at the 17-yard line of the Marauders. And that is the third fumble for the Marauders today. They had one in the first half. And that was at the Lutheran 10 as they were driving to score. So they've coughed it up twice inside the red zone, have the Marauders today. Moss in the shotgun, stems back at the 24, fires a pass out to the left-hand side. Pass incomplete as it sailed, or as it came a little low. The intended receiver out there was Eric Cumley. Cumley just coming on a quick slant to the inside. Pass was a little low. Lions quickly back to the line. Moss with Latino to his left. Give it to Latino. A big hole opens up in the middle. Latino spins, keeps his balance inside the 10-yard line, and he'll be down to about the 8. Ball comes loose. Mitchell flies for it, but they will rule him down. He needed 10. He got 10 to the 8. Actually, they'll spot him back at the 9, so it'll be 3rd and 1 at the Mitchell 9. But a good, strong bit of running by Landon Latino. Now in the backfield, it is Luke Arnold to the right of Moss. Read option, Moss with the keeper, and Moss will go down. It'll be back to the line of scrimmage. Mitchell's defense rising up and making the stop for the Marauders. It was Greg Jones, the defensive end. That's going to make it 4th and 1. And it looks like the field goal kicking unit is coming on for Shoney on. Moss will kneel at the 15, put the spot at the 16. So this is a 26-yard attempt for John Shoney. Spot is down, driving kick, up and good. So John Shoney takes over the second half kicking and adds a 26-yard field goal to the tally. It is now 38-0 in favor of the Lutheran Lions. $38-0. Lions over the Marauders here, and we've still got 35 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Now, a touchdown there by the Lions would have put them over the 40-point barrier, which would have given us a running clock, but as it is, they will have to score one more time for that, unless Mitchell can score in the meantime and delay that 40-point deficit. Hamilton and Williams dropping back for the Marauders. Williams will pull up short about the 15, and Hamilton will stand at the 1-yard line. Williams on the left, drifting back to the 15 now, while Hamilton is on the right side of the field. Deep kick comes down. Williams will have a play on it from the 7. Comes to the near side, the left side, has a couple blockers. makes a move, has the sideline, but good closing speed by the Lions. That is Josh Nelson, the junior, coming over to make a solid tackle, trailing the play. Nelson had to come a long way, but Mitchell has it at the 31. Williams with a good return, over 20 yards. And now a penalty on the Lions. Flag was on the far side of the field, moves the ball out to the 41. So the Lions add on 10 more. Mitchell starts at the 41-yard line with 26 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Wing right, I formation. Hersham slides to the right. Feed Hamilton to the right. He'll pick up 3 out to the 44-yard line. We'll bring up 2nd and 7 for the Marauders. Now we've got an injured Marauder down on the side. Holding a left thigh is one of the Marauders. I can't quite see a number now. Hopefully it is just a cramp. And we've got a Lion down, both players down right about the 45. The Lion has helped to his feet. And for Lutheran, that was Eric Cumley, the senior receiver and outside linebacker. They're still working on the Marauder who is down. Cannot see a number, but the work they're doing and getting him some water tells me it might be cramp. We'll hope that's all it is. Temperature near 80 degrees today finally after a very cold start. It was near 60 at 1 o'clock when we kicked this game off. Take a look at the temperature now. It's showing 78 with the feels like of 83. Oh, check that. It just updated. My phone did. 83 degrees today. And the Marauder players still being attended to. Now, 2 offensive linemen make their way out to try to help their teammate off the field. And a big hand from this Mitchell crowd. And gingerly coming off the field. I still cannot see a number as his jersey is bunched up. But they get him off the field and over to the bench. Very ginger putting any weight on that. And that is bad news for the Marauders, as that is Khalil Hamilton, their middle linebacker and their running back. Hamilton avoids the bench and goes right down to the turf. And that is the end of the third quarter as they work on Hamilton on the Mitchell sideline. Hopefully it is just a cramp and he can get back. He has done so much for these Marauders here today. But we have played 3 here, and the domination by the Lutheran Lions continues here in the second half. They lead 38-0 with the final 12 minutes to play as they look to improve to 2-3 on the season and drop Mitchell to 0-5. And the Lions got their first win of the season last week out in Falcon when they took on the Falcons, and then they traveled back to the Pikes Peak region again today to take on the Marauders. Scoring 14 quick points and not letting their foot off the accelerator here. Mitchell has had its moments. It's had 2 scoring plays that ended in turnovers, or one in a turnover and one in a drop. that might have changed the complexity of this game. But that is why you play 4 quarters of this game. So the Marauders have it 1st and 10 or 2nd and 8 at the 43. Get it off the right-hand side. The new running back for the Marauders is 23 and not on their roster. So a gain of 5, going to make it a 3rd and 2. $11:26 and counting here in the 4th quarter from Gary Berry Stadium. A sun-baked Saturday afternoon. Hersham to the left, leading blocking around the corner. 1st down and more. There is a flag on the breakaway. Finally brought down at the 23. If it stands, it's a huge game for the Marauders. But if it comes back, it'll be another loss of an opportunity for the Marauders. Holding against the Marauders, it will come back. Mitchell just running a sweep. Somebody on the left side of the offensive line tied their man up and got caught. So that wipes out a gain of 35 yards. It'll make it 3rd and 12 for the Marauders now. Ball on the 39, just under 11 minutes to go. Davis comes to the near side. Brown to the left side. Williams in the slot. Roll Thuzenak out. They're throwing for Williams, or check that, that's Tillotson. And the pass for Tillotson just a little bit too tall at the 35 or the 45-yard line. So now it will be 4th and 12. Tillotson had an opening, but those passes short range take a pretty good arm strength, and Thane Dusenek just had to loft it a little bit higher and a little bit too high for the potential reception. So 4th and 12 for the Marauders. Hersham comes out with Davis to the near side, to the left side of the formation. Brown to the right. Dusenak has trouble with the snap, picks it up, and he is going to be dropped all the way back at the 25-yard line. And the right side of that Lutheran line looking for the number, and once the player quits getting mobbed, I'll be able to come up with it. And again, there is no 66, unfortunately, on the Lutheran roster. So now turned over. Ball at the 25-yard line. It's 1st and 10. Moss in the backfield. He'll hand it off. Big run up the middle, bowling his way through, dropping his shoulders. With the carry is Pacheco, Dorian Pacheco. Pacheco getting his share of carries today, and we've got a timeout called by Mitchell to set things up on the defense, but Pacheco is ahead down to the 14. It was a gain of 11. And we are at 10:01 of the fourth here from Gary Berry Stadium. It is the District 11 Media Production Services High School Football Podcast here on YouTube. I am Barry Reed. Thank you so much for the tune-in today. Next Friday night, live from Gary Berry Stadium, we will have the Air Academy Cadets and the Coronado Cougars matching up here on the District 11 Media Production Services Podcast. Mitchell's defense makes its way back onto the field here. Just like last week, Mitchell's defense has been tasked numerous times with the offense that has had too many quick outs. Just a quick crossing slant pattern and the touchdown. That is Noah Tack. Tack with his second touchdown on the night. That one comes in from the 14 on a first down play. Tack was the outside receiver on the set. The inside man went short, and Tack ran a skinny post. And Noah Tack is on the scoreboard with the fifth touchdown pass for Nick Moss here today. And with the score going to 44-0 pending the extra point, we move into a running clock with just over 9 minutes left. Shoney, trouble on the snap and getting it down as Moss got it down, and Shoney got it just over the crossbar to make it 45-0. And a worn-out set of Mitchell defenders makes their way to the near sideline, getting ready to go out. A lot of them onto the kick return team. Then most of them will transition to the offense. And good news, looking down into that Mitchell huddle, Khalil Hamilton is up, trying to stretch out. But it looks like he will be on this return team. But Mitchell with 8 minutes and counting to avoid its second straight shutout of the year. Again, this is the last non-conference game for both of these teams. Lutheran will host Palmer Ridge. The Bears come to Parker next week, and Mitchell travels down to Sierra before traveling to Falcon the next two games. So Lutheran will take on the two teams from Monument, Palmer Ridge at home, and then travel to Lewis Palmer. And Sierra and Falcon, the next two opponents for the Marauders. And this ball is into the end zone for the touchback. So it'll be interesting to talk to the Lutheran head coach, Stephen Robbins, to find out about the onside kick strategy for the first and then the touchback strategy for his kicking game in the second after the game. We are approaching 7 minutes on the clock here at Gary Berry Stadium. Thane Duzenak making his way out to the Marauder huddle. Mitchell has had some opportunities today, but the Lions have had the answers, and the Marauders have committed 3 fumbles, one in the end zone, or going into the end zone, and then a drop pass in the end zone. Pitch to the near side. Good pursuit, but cutting back and fighting hard and gaining 4 is the Marauders' number 23. And again, there's no 23 on the updated roster. And looking over to the PA announcement, Ty Robertson is number 3 or 23. So with the injury to Hamilton and the cramping, Ty Robertson getting the carries here. Second and 6. Robertson lost his footing but got reset. The give is to Hersham, the first man through, and Hersham gets across the 30 for the first down for the Marauders. Ben Hersham has been playing in the slot, been playing fullback. So fullback and or kind of H-back, that hybrid position. Not really a tight end, not really a wing. He's had a solid day as a lead blocker and a ball carrier today. Tillotson in motion, formation right to left. Pitch it to Robertson, and there is an edge for Robertson. Robertson's out across the 40 before he gets wrapped up. On the tackle was Pacheco. So that'll be a Mitchell first down, but we are at 4.5 minutes to go. 4.5 minutes for Mitchell to avoid the shutout. It would be the second straight shutout for the Marauders, as they had put up 12 on Palmer in the loss. They put up 20 against Pueblo Central in the loss, and then 7 against the Mean Moose of Alamosa. Tillotson in motion. Dusenak loses the ball, but it pops right into Robertson. Robertson fighting hard, ahead for a gain of 12 for a first down into Lions territory down to the 46-yard line. What a bizarre play. In football is a game of bounces and inches, folks, and that bounce, the way most of the bounces have gone against the Marauders today, went right into Ty Robertson's hands, and he was able to reclaim it and get ahead off the left-hand side. Remember, Mitchell is playing without Jalen Babers, the 5'8", 165-pound senior who is their leading rusher coming into the game, as he is sitting out his suspension. This is Hersham. He got ejected, did Babers last week, so he's sitting a 1-game suspension. He's down on the sideline cheering his team on, but he is in street clothes. Hersham gets ahead for a gain of 5 off the left-hand side or the right-hand side. 3 minutes on the clock here from Gary Berry Stadium. Mitchell at the 42-yard line of the Lions. Tillotson in motion, right to left. Give it to Robertson, and Robertson dragging a couple of Lions along for yardage. It's going to be a gain of 3 as Josh Nelson, the junior Lion linebacker, grabbed a hold of him, but Robertson was strong enough to pull him along. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 3. Marauders need the 36 of the Lions for the first down. Hersham, offset, in the offset eye. Lead block around the left-hand side. Robertson, stiff arm, gets around the corner, stays in bounds, finally gets driven out of bounds on the far side, close to the 30-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6 and another Mitchell first down, which will stop the clock. Inside the last 2 minutes, I thought we stopped the clock on the running clock, and now the officials stopped the clock. Corey Anderson takes this opportunity for his second timeout of the half. But Mitchell driving, trying to avoid the shutout. Ball, when we resume play, will be at the 32-yard line, left hash. But first and 10 for the Marauders. And one last time, the District 11 public and community is invited to the Central Administration Building second floor hallway for a display of the instructional materials that have been recommended for adoption into our schools. You can come by, give us your comments, fill out a slip for us. If you can't get down in this next week, because the window is from the Monday the 1st through Friday the 5th, you can log on to D11.org, look under the academics tab, and view the materials there and leave your comments on the website as well. Tillotson in motion, starts left now, back to the right. Dusenak in trouble, and he is going to be sacked. Actually, he gets ahead to the 30 for a gain of 2 before he is brought down. Second and 8 for the Marauders. But we are inside a minute and a half. Corey Anderson drew up a play that sent 2 men deep. Unfortunately, the offensive line could not protect Thane Dusenak long enough to make it happen. Davis and Brown went deep. But no time, and the quarterback had to get a gain of 2. And we are at 60 seconds here from the end of the ball game, where Lutheran will improve to 2-3, and Mitchell will soon drop to 0-5. Delayed handoff to Robertson around the left-hand side. Makes one man miss, pulls out of a tackle, and finally gets driven out of bounds inside of the 10-yard line, about the 8. Josh Nelson, the junior, with the tackle for the Lions. But it will be first and goal for the Marauders from the 8. There are 32.7 seconds left on the clock. Corey Anderson takes the timeout, his third of the half, third and last of the half. So a couple shots here for the Marauders. If they can run a couple quick plays to avoid the second straight shutout. Mitchell, despite the adversity today, has been fighting till the end. And if there's anything as a coach you want to see, it's that fight of your team to the end. Plenty of reason for them to give up and quit today, but they have fought hard in this defense, despite giving up 45 points. At times has come up big, turning things over on downs and pinning the Lions deep in their own end, giving the offense short fields to work with. Mitchell back on the field. Here we go. First and goal from the 8, 32.7 seconds left. Power eye backfield in the back. Pitch it to Robertson around the right-hand side. Robertson is down to the 5 before he is gathered in. Good tackle there by the Lions, getting at the legs. And for the Lions, looked like Christian Ramirez, number 58, in the middle. Missouri eye stack for the Marauders. Give it to the right to Robinson. Robinson down inside the 5 to the 3. 4-3. Mitchell not going to be able to get the, they do get the playoff. Pushing straight forward with the quarterback sneak and into the end zone for the touchdown. Thane Dusenak, knowing time was about to run out, gets the snap off and pushes into the end zone for the touchdown. And Mitchell, just like that, avoids the shutout. And the offense makes its way to the sidelines. And we will not get an extra point attempt. Oh, now they're going to call him They will give the touchdown, but there will be no extra point try. So Mitchell, on the last play of the game, averts the shutout as Thane Duzenak goes in from 3 yards out. Good heads-up play by the young quarterback to get that play off as the clock was winding down. Well, that is the ball game. 2-3 is the improved record of the Lions. The Marauders do fall to 0-5 on the season. For the Marauders, a trip down to War Memorial Stadium at Harrison to take on the Sierra Stallions. And the Lions get to go home after back-to-back trips to the Pikes Peak region, where they will take on Palmer Ridge as their league opener next week. Thank you so much for the tune in to the District 11 High School Football Podcast. I am Barry Reed. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Next Friday night, we will be live here from Gary Berry Stadium on the YouTube podcast channel for District 11 with the Air Academy Cadets and the Coronado Cougars. Have a great weekend, everybody.